Hi, everybody. Richard and I are here together, and we're going to talk about all the crazy stuff that's going on. Richard looks very excited. So, we have a lot of fun things that have been going on, and also a lot of angsty energy and cranky energy has been going on. So, how are you, Richard?
Thank you, my beloved honey. I am good. I am okay. Like you say, yes, it has been a rockin' rolling kind of a wave, one
Mhm.
that I've never ever lived up to date, but I'm still very excited. Although I have snapped at loved ones, like I'm aware what's going on. So I am good considering all this because I do see the golden outcome. And I want to say, welcome all our families as one big family as we love you. Yay!
Yay.
I have to do my little intro.
I love it. It's so fun. Yes. Yeah. Great energy. Great energy that you
Thank
have.
you.
Yeah. So we've been very angsty, and I
Mhm.
know I've been very angsty more than normal, and it doesn't feel comfortable. Like you're like, wow, I just snapped at this person that called on the phone and was like not aware of all the things that are going on. And I wasn't mean to them, but I said, this is the situation.
Mhm.
And definitely more cranky than normal. And I think it's all of the energy stirring everything up to get ready for this big change that seems to be coming through.
Oh,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. And the change is really here.
yeah.
And I would like to like probably offer like some support or some reassurance because I did read in one of my comments or one of my videos this morning, and it really broke my heart. Like watching my video with Anina that I did a few days ago from Vivid Earth, and we're talking about changes coming, and I saw like it's coming, it's soon, like maybe in the summer, like around that time. And this person said like I can't wait any longer. Like it feels almost like I'm gonna knock myself out. Please don't, guys. We are here. It's not after everything that we've gone through to this day. Okay, we are warriors. Please hang on because it is coming here. Like people, like a goddess like Honey, or a rocker like me, or like we're all saying the same thing. It is the golden era. Please don't give up.
Yeah.
I
Don't give
wanted
up.
to add that because I felt for that. Sometimes, honey, do you
Oh, it's
read what?
hard. Yeah. It's been so hard. And the systems have been really, really hard. And I know with my dad, like he's lucky to be alive at this point because of the systems and the
Because
way,
of assistance.
yeah, the way that he was dealt with. And he's finally in a good rehab. And if the systems are still around, I might sue them. We'll just kind of see how it goes. Like it has been really difficult. And I think a lot of people have been very, very cranky and their bodies are acting up and just kind of overwhelming feelings. But all the things that we've been like hiding from ourselves or we're feeling from the world, it's like they're all at the surface right now. And I call it the scuzz at the top of the pot, which is kind of gross.
The scuzz?
Yeah, like the scuzzy,
Oh, like
gooey.
foam
Yeah,
more.
the when
Okay,
the
yeah,
pot is boiling on the stove.
yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. And it's time to scrape it off and let go of
Oh,
it.
oh,
Yeah,
yes. And I think this is going to be our final scrape.
I do too. Yeah, it's going to get much easier after this, I feel like.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
And may I repeat what I just told you before we
Yes.
started recording?
Yeah.
So, thank you. So, me too. I've been like a very agitated lately. I had problem with my titanium plate in my ankle where it was strangling it. I've said that in a video, but also my personality. I've been a more irritated, and I've become snappy, and that's just not my nature. So I'm aware of what's going on, but that was like in the days that passed. Okay, so we had the blackout with the Schumann's resonance. Then I went wonky and snappy. But today, because I wake up famille at 4 in the morning, because my cats, right? So I go, feed me, feed me, feed me. So I go, okay, I'm going to feed you and might as well have coffee. So I'm awake.
Yeah.
So by 11 in the morning, I need a cat nap between all my readings and whatnot. So I go and I just lie down in my bed and really rapidly, like I felt like the pulsation coming from my pineal gland. And I could see with my eyes closed, as if I was seeing an other eye, but in the eye, there was a new dimension, like a portal. And I saw this beautiful woman with orange hair, wavy like a honey's hair, but it was orange and to here. And she was dressed in like greens and she was looking at me. And so I kept venturing closer, closer to the portal of the eye. And then I crossed into it. And then I don't know what happened, and then I woke up.
Yeah.
So there are things happening right now. You know, everything was like so insane, but see, like this new gift, and I felt comfort. I don't feel agitated so much anymore.
No.
It's as if we jumped over it.
Yeah. I was a little agitated this morning, but then it just all calmed down. And everybody that I talked to was great today. So that was really helpful. And I do feel like, things are actually going to work out at this point. But woo, it's been quite a ride.
It was a rough one.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's been a rough ride. So I'm very grateful that, it feels like we've come through the portal, but now the energy's pushing again. So I see some intensity getting ready to happen.
okay. What do you mean by intensity? Are you talking about
Probably in the world, something that we're going to see in the world start to shift in a bigger way. So whenever the wind blows really intensely here, something happens over the next few days.
Okay, so on the world stage, you mean?
Yeah.
Like many parasites, politics, things of that nature.
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yep.
feel it too. And I feel it has to happen.
It does. And I think we're primed for the financial system, and then we're also
yes.
primed for the ETs. And
Oh,
the ETs will help shift everything again, and it'll be better.
and I want to hug them and I want to kiss them, especially if they look like kitty cats.
Oh, yeah.
Give me your lips. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm sure the Lyrans are watching you all the time.
Oh, I know I can feel them. I
Yeah.
love them so much. And like similar, like I've never seen like color. Like I'm talking about the hue of the human, because the mother of my child was from Haiti, so I never like understood like these things. So yes, I see myself as Richard totally falling in love with a lion.
There you go.
That would be so cool. Oh well.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. We had a ghost today. So we have a bus, and my husband had the diesel heater on a few days ago, and he turned it off and left the bus, and all of a sudden it turned itself on its own, and it was on, for half the day today. And he's like, I think we have a ghost. So I sent it off, but I could see him. He was like an old prospector, because, out in Colorado, big beard, white hair. And I was like, it's
Slim?
Yeah, skinny.
Yeah, I'm seeing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He reminds me of what was that Christmas Carol movie about the Scrooge?
Oh, yeah, Ebenezer.
Is that what he looks like? Because that's what I'm seeing.
He was kind of like that, really unhappy. He felt unhappy, and he really wanted to go home. And I think he's been bugging John for a while. But when I came home, he got like this ultimate big wake up that, yeah, there is a ghost, because he's been hearing weird noises at night and stuff. So I just helped him go.
And he's gone now.
He's gone now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel a happy energy. It feels very like dragging
Yeah.
your feet down and miserable at happiness around him. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And so there's a lot of ghosts. There's a lot more ghosts than normal right now because when 3D and 4D split off, a lot of the ghosts stayed with 5D. So
Oh,
they've been asking for us to send them home and bothering us. And we didn't necessarily know what was going on a lot of the time. But I've had friends who've had poltergeists. I had a friend who had like thousands of ghosts coming at her trying to get home.
thousands.
Yeah, so she had, and it's because in her area, she's probably one of the only real human beings.
Oh, I see. So everyone else is like a
There's lots
figment.
of NPCs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, she was
So
able
did it
to
make
set stuff
did it
up.
make did it make her house like the movie Poltergeist?
She was really like disturbed because we got rid of a bunch of ghosts for her a long time ago. And I'm like, let's set up funnels. And she did it
Yes.
herself. So there were all these funnels and all these angels, and basically they would just shoot, go right up and go home before they really bothered her too much.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Wow, so that's very interesting. I do feel it though. The ghost thing, when you say that, I do feel like there is like a release going on.
Mhm.
I've never even like I can't even go to the cemeteries. Okay,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I can't because they attach themselves to me, these
Oh,
lost souls. And then I gotta come home and wrestle with them. And sometimes it's funny because you can have empathy sometimes for them. So, oh, you poor thing, you know? It's like,
yeah. And then like, oh, let
yes,
me
and
just
then you,
hang on to you.
yes,
Yeah.
you know. So, okay, I love that. So, because, and do you feel also like the timelines are like machine gun going, like bah, 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 like it's so like a crazy yo-yo.
Yeah. So we almost have all these timelines merging together right now for the 5D, for the fifth
Mhm.
density. And they're not all exactly the same. So I noticed like when we were in the hospital, they say one thing one day, then the next day was a totally another story. And then the next day it'd be something else. And I'm like, how
Mm.
do you guys get anything done?
Yes,
You
yes.
know? And it
What
just
did they
felt,
say?
and it was spongy, like the floor was spongy. I go in there and could feel like it didn't feel stable to me. And I was like, this is really weird. And I don't like it here because you almost felt like disoriented in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
That reminds
So
me when
as
I
soon
was
as
a
we walked out of it, I was like, okay, you can just disintegrate now. We don't need you anymore.
just
Yeah.
be gone.
Yeah. I mean, because that system is going to go. So,
That reminds me, like what you were saying about the spongy flooring. When I was a child, I had a repeating dream, nightmare, whatever it was. And I was always going because we had a big mansion with my parents, with my papa. Here's my papa.
oh,
And I love you. And so we had a spiral staircase. And in the dream, I'd be walking like up the stairs, but then my feet would go into the stairs and it was spongy and I couldn't get out as if it was like glue coming out and it was a repeating dream. And one day I was actually sleepwalking in the sponge of the stairs. And when I got my foot out, I rolled all the way down and crashed into, well, the wall.
wow.
Mm.
That's wild. Yeah, that
But
must be something you were dealing with in the astral plane.
I think so, because even as a child, as I've told you, my beloved one, like I'd see fairies and I saw a werewolf and
Mhm.
sitcom. I think this is what it was, but I was actually sleepwalking while I was doing it. Funny, huh?
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just had a conversation in one of my groups about sleepwalking.
Oh,
So it
did you?
could be like your inner child that is still working stuff out.
Hmm.
It could be a parallel that is working stuff out with you while the other part of you's gone.
Uh,
It could be your body is like trying to unwind something, but for me, it feels like a parallel. Or
it
you,
does feel like that because it did feel in a parallel role, like another realm somewhere. Maybe I was just like things were attracted to me as a child, right?
oh yeah, yeah,
I feel that.
yeah, totally.
Can you
Like
give
that
me a
kid.
second, honey? Just one
Yeah,
second. James, are you waiting for something? Because I'm
No.
in an interview right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just
Because I
drinking
thought
my
you were
wine.
waiting for me. Okay.
No,
I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
My dear friend James, he's my handyman, and he's coming to rescue my mom's fridge right now. So
Oh,
I didn't know if
cool.
he wanted to ask me a question. I'm sorry. As we
That's
were.
okay. That's okay. So yeah, let's talk about the dragons a little bit. And also, you mentioned a movie earlier, Canada,
Uh,
the Illusion.
yes, which is a great. Yes, we can talk about
Let's talk
dragons.
about Canada a little bit because a lot of people are curious. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Canada the Illusion is a movie that is, I don't know how old it is. It feels not that old, but you can easily find it on YouTube. It's not been censored, Rumble as well. And it is like a documentary of the real history that's never been told to us about what Canada really is or really is not. Hence the title Canada the Illusion. So it's not like a movie that will have like imagery or graphics. So it's a smooth voice, relaxing, and a lot of writing. So for me, it's hard because I need the spark and the images, but he goes through all history and all the wars and all the truth, and they all come back, making it that guys, like Canada, let's be sovereign. We don't want to be the 51st state. Well, the thing is we were never even a real thing to begin with. There are so many loopholes with the monarchy and who they elected. And it was all a trickery. And in this trickery, while you're watching the documentary, they did not, like the creepazoids, the Björks, they did not even like follow through to like apply things. So everything is left into like the void. I think this is why Donald Trump, President Trump, is saying what he's saying about the 51st state. I never found that it was like teasing or trolling. I've done a video on this a while ago. There is something, he's bringing it up to the light. We are not what we think we are.
No.
We are free. And this is a
Yeah.
great day. I mean, like, I welcome this thing of the 51st state. I'm a Canadian. I'm a proud Canadian because I love Canada, but I resonate to the patriot of an American. That's what I like resonate to.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it's a great movie. Please look at it. It's 40 minutes long, and you got to focus because we're going through history and all the wars that has happened in the past and the misleading and truths and new anecdotes or information. But it does go well if you have 2 coffees. And what do you find about this?
It reminds me of the movie Zeitgeist. So I haven't seen that movie,
Me
but
neither.
the movie Zeitgeist was similar. Like it really showed you a lot of I would say it's more of a worldwide movie. Um, and I watched that probably in 2008, 2009, maybe a little earlier. But that was really cool and helpful. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But we're at this point, like we're all going to be one group. So it doesn't matter if you're in Canada or if you're in
Yes.
Europe or Turkey or whatever. We're all going to be earthlings.
Yes.
So, yeah. And that's where we'll get to. And the sooner we let go of the division ideas, the faster things will come together. And I really think the ET introduction is going to make big changes with that. I think that's going to help a lot. So, yeah.
I absolutely agree on this. And this whole concept of division, it's in everything that was in order to separate us so we would never wake up. But here we are, like everyone is starting to have like a form of awakening or an awareness. This is what they never wanted us, the creepazoids, to have, because then they lose. And if they lose, they can't feed off our energy that is creation, right? It has no soul. It has to feed on us. So divide religion, politics, race, gender. But we're awakening to it. And I'm so proud of our species, honey.
Yes. Yeah. It's beautiful. And we're really like helping the whole universe move up.
Yes.
But this has really helped humanity. Like, and it's been so many generations in the works. Like, we've probably been here as souls over and over. Like, can we get it a little bit higher? Can we get, and a lot of frustration. I know my soul has been, oh, do we have to go back?
Well, you've been here like a lot of times, we discussed.
Oh, yeah. Thousands and thousands of times. And a lot of those were for ascension.
Ah, yes.
So, yeah, I've been involved in it forever. And unbeknownst to me, until I really kind of became more and more aware. But I knew a lot of this stuff when I was a little kid, and then I just intuitively knew a lot of stuff as an adult. But the last 5 years have been massive. And I think for everybody, they've been massive.
They have, and I feel that this is why like time is speeding up, because no one can convince me there's 24 hours in a day.
No, it's
no.
very fast.
I mean, I feel like I need a mini me to help me do all the chores now. Like, a smaller version of me running in back of me, helping me.
We'll have little robots for that soon too. Little robotic things like, I don't want to dust, I don't want to do windows, I don't want to do dishes.
Or you know where I'm going with this, huh? My robot is going to be dressed as a maid, and she's going to look like Farrah Fawcett. That's all I want.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, and she's probably going to be very funny.
You know what happened this weekend? I had my friend, my best friend Jenny May. That was over.
Yeah.
And we did our crystal video where
that was great.
And you know who came in? Because there was an issue with emotions, and Farrah Fawcett had come through and was like speaking to my Jenny May with her words of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It was so beautiful. Yeah. Do you feel her, Farrah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't she beautiful?
She's beautiful. She really didn't want to participate in any of that stuff. It feels like she did actually pass away.
Yes. Oh, yeah, she did. She did.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of them didn't. They didn't pass away. It was like witness protection to get them out.
I agree. Yeah. I think that one that comes to my mind right now is the daughter of Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name? Priscilla is the wife. They had a daughter. The one who was married to Michael Jackson.
I know who she is. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, like
it's gone.
But I feel that's one of
she's still around, I think. Yeah. And I think Prince is still around, and Michael Jackson's still around. There's a lot that are still around, and we will see them eventually.
Like Lady Diana.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her energy because I've channeled her higher self. Because the thing is, Femi, is when we channel a higher self, it's my higher self that's communicating with another higher self. And the person does not have to be passed away as in dead. Okay. You could be alive. People think you're dead, but our higher selves are. So she is absolutely like having a return her.
Yeah,
Like, and she's beautiful. I love her energy.
beautiful energy. Yeah,
She loved children so much, just like Melania.
yeah. And she was fighting for them,
Oh, yes.
which is why, you know, they tried to take her out. But I feel like they knew, and everything actually worked out in her favor for that.
I
So,
need to ask you because I'm sure the family here is wondering what's going on. The noise we hear, it's not a werewolf coming in, it's the wind, right?
the wind. The wind is crazy today. So normally my hair doesn't look so haggard, but yeah. So the wind is absolutely nuts.
I like your hair wavy.
Yeah. Well, it looked cuter this morning. Not so much now. But
Before the tornado.
yeah, it was just wild out there. And it's still wild. The whole trailer was moving. Yeah.
Wow, big things are coming. The storm is here.
Yes.
You are fake news.
A gift I got from a
That's
beautiful
awesome. That's awesome. Yes. So, how are you feeling about the energies right now? Like,
I
feel
I
like we
feel.
the portal?
Pardon me.
Think we got through the portal?
We got through a big portal. I do
Yeah.
feel it. I do feel it in my body. See, I feel like things have moved around in me also, like organs.
They have.
Like they feel stronger, they feel bigger. The circulation feels more like baba, baba. The energy, guys, because you know, like I'm a conduit for electricity. It is so like, oh, and oh, guys, 1, 2, 3, that always like activates. But it is so potent, the energy. We have crossed the portal, and I'm actually kind of grateful, right? That it could have been a lot worse. I think that through the years, we've had many ascension symptoms through like the solar flares, Schumann's resonance. It was like rock and roll, but I don't think we would have been able to survive. It was like a whole flare out. I think we would have exploded.
I think most of us would have been gone. It was such a hard scenario that was going to happen. I'm so grateful that it got spread out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So am I. And because of this, here we are. And so, yes, I do feel we've crossed a portal. What does it look like? It actually looks beautiful. It's like I'm almost like, huh, all that chaos I was feeling, and now I'm here. It's like, well, where's the chaos? Like, is it under this card? Is it under this phone? No, it's no. Like, I think things are going to be, I don't know. Like, it is crossing a portal. Now, yes, there's going to be some big news coming in, but maybe by crossing that portal, this is where we're ready for that big news. I think that's what it is. We had to cross that portal for the incoming, like the wind around your what do you call what you're in?
It's a little trailer. It's my office
Okay.
trailer. Yeah.
Okay, so around your trailer,
Yeah.
you know, it's like and I'm feeling also about a lot about the Mandela effect recently. Like it's back on my mind a lot. You know, I saw someone send me a documentary this morning about did we die, all of humanity, in 1999? And it's an interesting thing. It falls into the Mandela effect eventually. But what he was saying is that, you know, all the generations, you look at the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and everything had its very specific, very alluring, colorful fashion, whether it be music or the hairdos or the dress codes, right? So 50s, you got the Greasers and Elvis. And then in the 60s, we start with the colors of the hippies and everything going on. And the 80s, well, the 70s, Farrah Fawcett. I'm just going to say Farrah Fawcett for the 70s. And then the 80s, oh my God. Like, I was a rocker, so I never had my hair like this. But that was like a funny era. Then the 90s. Huh? You did? Oh my God.
My hair was so big. I used so much Aquanet when I was in high school. It was so...
I need a picture. You have to send me a picture of that.
I'll look. It was terrible. Like, you could go like this and then it would bounce back.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I did something similar with the hairspray because my hair had to be like really flat, but I do it like this, but like hairspray. And then it was so stiff that when like a truck would go by, I'd have to. What the hell?
I don't know. That was our thing, though. That was the thing in the 80s. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you also like put your jeans on your bed with a fork if they were so tight?
A lot of times they were, yeah, painfully tight. Horrible. Yeah.
What was wrong with us?
I don't know. And then it was so uncomfortable because you were sitting in them all day in school. And we were all like, what's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? You know? Yeah.
I used to put my jeans in the morning in Javel water and wash them so they go really, really white. And then I went to school and I smelled like Javel, but it was a look. And then I put my handcuffs and lace up the front and chains on the side.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
But anyway, so this is what the fashions was. And then in the 90s, it went more like Seattle, like the grunge, right? So things were going more like punk rocker. But then after 1999, it's as if like, look at that, 2000 to 2025, all the TV shows look the same, all the clothes, all the colors. I've never resonated to after 2000. That's why I'm hooked to nostalgia. The 70s, the 80s. I always go back. Well, I still wear the same clothes as I did back then, right? So what do you feel? Like, I don't feel that, I don't know what you think. Something happened there. I don't think that, because they were saying in this documentary that there was a meteorite in the time that was like floating around for a few months, and that maybe like we exploded, but then our soul, yes, went into another dimension or another alternative timeline, and that we're looping. If that's the case, maybe the Great Awakening now is that we're waking out of that. I don't know. There's something to this. What do you say?
I think they ran out of material. So because I don't think that, like, we've winked out many, many times. Humanity has been in suspended animation more than once, I think, because they weren't making progress. But now they are, and they have been for a long time. But even over the last few months, like, we've had some stressful moments where it's like, okay, guys, we got to agree to make change. We have to change in order to get to the good stuff. Can't just keep thinking everything's going to be in the 3D because we don't even live there anymore, you know? So that finally kind of got broke through. And that's why all this wild chaos has been allowed to bubble up.
Right.
But I think the bad guys, we'll just call them, ran out of material. So they started repeating everything. They also knew that they weren't going to win the war, but they tried so hard. So that's kind of what I think. It's like, oh, we'll just remanufacture this because we're not getting the creation that we want.
And they're
also,
not able
I think it went beyond their normal reset time.
Okay. Because they are not able to create.
No.
That's it. So it's copy paste. And that's why it looked gray. Like the whole 2000.
Yeah. Really boring.
Oh, it's so boring, isn't it?
Yeah, really boring stuff.
Yeah.
Now, some of the shows are fun. Some of the movies are fun, the Marvel movies, but I mean, honestly, that stuff came out like at the turn of the century in comic books.
Yes.
And they've just turned it into, they've basically been redoing all the same things over and over and over.
We're done. We're done
Yeah,
with that.
we're sick of it.
Oh,
And I think that's also helped us realize that, oh, it's a loop.
so it had its purpose. Of course
Yeah.
it did.
Mhm.
Everything does have its purpose, even if we don't see it in this now moment, right?
Yeah. Well, and also things can be altered in the past to help us with the future. So think about
Okay.
that movie, The Last Mimsy,
Yes.
and the White Rabbit, and Alice and the White Rabbit. The White Rabbit has always been go and find things, go find out. The rabbit
Follow
is like
me
the
for the
symbol.
information,
Yeah.
like the Matrix as well.
Yeah. So that whole don't go down the rabbit hole, you won't be able to like come back from it. You will never forget what you find out. That had a huge purpose.
It did.
Yeah. And that was the universe saying, listen, this is like a message. I'm giving you a message and I'm doing it over and over and over until you see it. Yeah.
And we are seeing it. Well, I'm glad that we are seeing it.
Yeah.
Very much.
Really good.
Yes.
So before we go, let's talk about the dragons for a minute.
I love dragons. It
Yeah.
really feels like you got a dragon try to crash into your.
It does. Yeah. And I had dragons all around Dad most of the time. Every night, the dragons would come in and I would bring the angels in. And sometimes I would bring the Titans in if I was really ticked off with what was going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's something new to me because I don't know the Titan energy, but I did send you dragons every day. You know that.
Yes. Yeah. So Titans, so in the dragon time when Titans were here, the dragons were massive. And some of the land that we have is basically like a dragon. So there's I don't remember who did it. It might have been that Mud Fossil University guy on YouTube, but he had this, like, it's basically a continent and it's a dragon.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
he was filming from above and then we could see the whole dragon.
Yeah.
I think you posted that on your Telegram and I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. They're just massive. They were massive, and the Titans were like 1,000 feet tall. So they were similar, basically a human being, but 1,000 feet tall and wild. So they were kind of like a Scottish,
aggressive.
Yeah, Scottish guy with the kilt and the beer and the yeah, just kind of wild, And I never can like see the women. I know there were women.
They feel smaller.
Yeah, and I don't see them in my mind's eye as well. So I think there were a lot more men.
Yes, and as soon as you said woman, I saw them smaller.
Yeah.
Like interesting factor smaller. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Feels like it didn't work so well. So yeah, and there was just so much going on, and that's before the big trees got taken down. There are still a few left, I think, beyond where we've seen. But
beyond the ice wall, you mean?
Yeah, beyond the ice wall. I think there's a few. Yeah. But they were using them for spears, and they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and they were in a fight with the Pleiadians. So the Titans were in a fight with the Pleiadians, and the dragons were in on a lot of this stuff, like, and humans and dragons weren't necessarily doing great with each other all through the time. but it's good now.
Well, it's good now, and I think that's because I keep seeing there was a main corruption and infiltration. I think that dragons by nature were created by creation. Yes, they were like warriors, but I don't tap into them being like malevolent. There was something that happened and there was a split. So what you're saying is that the Titans were fighting also the dragons and like with their big tree spears?
I think sometimes, yeah. I think sometimes there was some fighting with the dragons. And also back then, because the oxygen content was so much bigger, everything was so much bigger.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's coming back, huh?
It is. We will have 30%. That's what I got was outside the ice wall. And I think we're getting more oxygen now. I feel like it's starting.
I feel it.
Yeah. Yep. And that's helping us too. That's going to help us be stronger.
Stronger and also younger. And
yes.
Maybe that's what I also felt with my titanium plate around my ankle. You know, maybe like somehow bones are repairing or growing, and then, oh, my titanium's too tight.
Yeah, and you won't need the titanium too much longer.
I don't think so.
No. So, and a lot of people, like John has a titanium in his thumb.
Okay.
And it gets really, really cold. So I don't know if you experience that, but that part of his body gets really cold in the winter. And he has to come in and warm it up because the titanium gets cold inside of his thumb.
Okay.
Yeah. And
no,
I just don't think we're going to need any metal in our bodies.
No, we're all like refixing ourselves. We're recalibrating. We're wakening up, you know? So how do you feel about this, honey? Because I've always had this, is it really like a fantasy but I feel that my real aspect of me, Richard, would almost be like in the movie Avatar, like in a tanning bed sleeping, and then I'm living the experience here, like on planet ship Earth. How do you feel about that concept?
Yeah, well, that's the big soul coming in.
Okay.
But the human part of us, the like inner child, it's like they got stuck here. So the main reason that the big soul needs to be here is to help them elevate out of it. Yeah.
So that's waking up.
That's why we're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loves it. I love it. I love it.
Wonderful. This is fun.
It is fun.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and we'll do another one soon. I want to talk about more things. Maybe you guys could put some comments in about what you're really interested in hearing about. I'm sure some really interesting things are going to happen over this next week, and maybe we'll be able to do something like, that talks
There's
about.
also, I don't know if I'm pushing it, but unicorns and mermaids.
Yeah, we could do a show about those.
Okay, because I'm very attracted to that energy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we could do more about the dragons. So if you guys have questions, then we can both tune in, and maybe Richard can draw cards, and we can really, hone in on some things that you guys are interested in.
I can do cards anytime. I am here for the service to humanity. You tell me what to do, I'll do it.
So fun. Thank you so much, Richard. And go subscribe to his channel. It's below.
Thank you. Thank you so much, honey. I adore you, my sister. And Femi, we love you. Rock and roll.
Love you guys. Bye.